nice chat, and I do believe I'm speaking for both of us, has made us very, very thirsty. 2 pints, prick.
It's bloody boiling outside.
Very warm.
So do you know what you need to cool you down when it's bloody? But you've already cracked yours open.
Couldn't help myself.
You have already. The whole thing was we're starting this new series. It's going to be the two of us running our own podcast, and here you've already cracked it open.
I can pretend to reopen it if that adds to the placebo.
That's how we do it. So welcome to Piss Takes. My name's Ryan, and I do podcasts and stuff.
I'm Aaron. I don't do podcasts and stuff, but
until
now.
Because this is our series called Piss Takes, where we will essentially talk pish. Get pissed and do takes. It's in the title, it's self-explanatory. Every episode we're going to take a beer. Or a drink. Or a something. Who knows how quickly we will deviate from the idea. Drink it. Drink a few. Talk to you, the people. And then tell you what we think of the beer. It's easy enough.
Yeah, sounds easy
Every
enough.
episode will have a different topic. And we're going to form a tier list. Basically to let you know which beer's good and which beer is bad. Completely in our opinion, but our opinion is
factual.
That's factual, right? It's a tier list, they're flawless systems.
That's this.
They got really big on the internet years ago because they work, they're efficient. People like a tier list, and people like a tier list that they have to work for. Anyway, I'm going to open mine now if you want to open yours.
Oh well.
That's why we do it on camera, because now I'm all beer. Just wait. I'm going to smell a beer in the morning, and Ren is not going to be pleased. So yeah, sorry, episode 1. We thought, you got to get we're going to do some wacky beers. The plan is to try some fruity shit, to find a beer that tastes of apples.
Yeah.
That might be the worst thing we could conceive in the world, ever. But episode 1, you need something that you know is setting the bar. It's a pub joke, the bar. And this pint-sized can of Tennent's, this tinny, as bought from the Spar approximately 5 minutes ago, straight from the fridge.
Still nice and cold.
So cold, so warm outside. Oh, yeah, it's fucking beautiful. And that's how you start. You start with a tease of, it's fucking beautiful. Tennent's a weird beer in terms of Scottish history. Because it is the beer.
It's the best selling in the UK. Scotland is not.
Yes, the statistic is, right, for every 4 pints of lager, 3 of them is Tennent's.
Really? Is it more selling than Guinness? Well,
in terms of lager, obviously, because it's the only one, but I can't remember that statistic. I'm pretty sure the man in the Tennent's brewery kept telling me that it sells more than Guinness.
That's probably his job staple.
Exactly.
I can't imagine him selling his own kind shot. But I think it might be. I feel like I've read that somewhere.
Guinness UK, Tennent's Scotland. Because is it not it's the number 1 selling drink in Scotland is Iron Brew. The number 2 selling drink in Scotland is Tennent's. And as the man at the Tennent's brewery said to us, that's your Saturday night sorted, and then your Sunday morning. Your Iron Brew and your Tennent's. It's the only country in the world that doesn't have Coke as its number 1, because we've got an Iron Brew and a perfectly good pint-sized tinny of Tennent's. It's what was your first pint?
My first pint was a cider.
Go on,
My first pint was a Strongbow.
Okay.
Plain, just apple Strongbow, none of your dark fruits.
Not even the nice
none of your dark fruits, none of your strawberry. That wasn't even a thing. That didn't come into fruition.
I'm not a cider guy, but that strawberry one is.
Oh, the strawberry's lovely.
Drinkable.
Oh, lovely. You can't have too much, I find it almost too sweetening or too tart.
Yeah.
It fills you up. Honestly.
And you meant to start on cider. So if it fills you up immediately, then what you doing?
But no, that was my first one. It was just a bog standard Strongbow in the Smith's Beer Garden, sat across the father.
Oh, it's the classic. It's the classic.
Yep.
My first draft pint would have been a Birra Moretti.
Oh, Birra Moretti.
Which is...
It's not a bad
People like it.
A lot of people like it.
I've just been to Harley's.
Wait, did you?
That was one of their draft pints, but it was awful. They ruined that drink for me.
No.
I had 2 or 3 pints of Moretti there, and it always tasted off.
I've never had
And
a lager in
it
Harley's.
just buried
I don't think
buried
I will.
Moretti for me, and I cannot actually
Get
think of
past
the
that
taste
image.
of it. It's
Yeah.
like I taste even a nice Moretti still reminds me of Harley's, and the awful Morettis I've had in the past. It's like that's Moretti vetoed.
I've never
for
had
me.
a lager in Harley's, and I don't think I ever will. Just because it doesn't seem, I feel like it'd be out of place, and especially the fact I've seen them selling Red Stripe, which I still haven't tried,
It's what
and I don't know if I ever want to try it.
I would reckon. With lager, much like this series is going to very quickly
Absolutely.
demonstrate to you, I believe there's a rule that you have to try everything once,
That's true.
so you can formulate an opinion and put it in a tier list. It's vital, this tier list, to
The survival of the
survival.
series.
But immediately after consuming this Moretti in Cecchini's on my 18th.
What's that? Is that it?
Cecchini's, oh, that's there, yeah. That's down the river, Italian place, used to be called Regano's.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Beautiful fish
I think
and
I've never
chips.
seen it.
Yeah, I'd
Is it by the square?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
I
on
was
the
talking about
square.
this,
For one of Callum's bye-bye date nights, before
When
we...
was bye-bye date nights?
We had
One
many
of many.
We had many
Did I go
bye-bye
that
date
far
nights.
back on your birthday?
No, this was recently.
Oh, it's recently,
well, this
okay.
was just before he went.
Oh, thank God.
We did the Wellington pub quiz, but beforehand we went to Cecchini's for a kind of legit romantic four-way daddy date night. Fish and chips is divine, and because it's on the more expensive side of places. You know, you can go, you can get your cheap food, nice meal and Wasso spoons, cool.
Yeah.
But if you want like the next step, the kind of Smith's,
You should
Cecchini's
save that a wee bit
prices,
more.
when it goes from being like 12 quid to like
17.
and that's when you know.
That's
when,
when you
when
know.
you're paying 17 for fish or tempura, that's when you know you're in a slightly nicer place. The second it crosses that's out of my range. Like 17 is my
Your limit.
I'm grudging
This is
it.
an occasion.
Absolutely.
And this is an occasion. I think when you're paying
Birthdays,
17.
dates, acceptable. If you're just going out for your
Just for a bog
pals,
standard weekend with nothing going on.
if you're just going to be your pals, why would you do that? But it was Callum's farewell.
So it was an occasion.
Absolutely. I remember we ended up in Harley's that night, and myself and Callie, who the fuck's Callie? That's female Callum, or his Canadian counterpart. We did the safety dance karaoke, and every single line of that song, we changed accent. And it was one of the most god-awful things ever done, but at least everyone in the place knew, well, it is a piss take. They're not just shit. There's nothing worse than doing karaoke and just being shit on that performance. If you can't get the song right, or
you're trying a little too hard.
You're trying
it's just
too
no
hard.
coming across.
The first karaoke we ever did was in the Smoke and Go. It was myself, Callum and Josh. It was the first night they'd turned 18, which meant I can tell you their first pints was pints of Blue Moon, because I bought them in crumbs.
To make sure they had it.
We went. Their first pub was Crumbs, which is not a good thing,
No, it's
but
not
it
a
was
good thing.
purely because at that time they sold Blue Moon for cheap.
True.
So we
They
went.
don't even do it anymore, do they?
No, there's no reason to ever go unless it's 1 o'clock
True.
somewhere.
If you're too good for Harleys, but not too good for crumbs.
Look, if you just want to control the jukebox and have literally no one in the place with you.
In semi-decent pizza, Madre or Carlin.
There's worse places.
But
Not
there's
many.
also a lot better.
There's not many worse places. Just go home.
But it shuts at one.
It does, it shuts
The
later
only
than
thing it has
in
for
other
it.
places. We do this karaoke and immediately we are like, right, what meme songs can we line up? Safety Dance, queued. Combine Harvester, queued. We did another one. I think it might have been 500 Miles we went for. 500 Miles, queued. But every single time before we went up, there was this one lassie who could actually sing. The scum of the karaoke world is people that can sing. Because then you go up and you're like, I've got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. It's like a fucking pint of Hennessy gun or something.
No, anything done. Roast.
So we've got Cecchini's. That's where we were going with this Cecchini's
Cecchini's
story.
Callum,
We're going to this
romantic
Cecchini's
dates
story.
with the other guys.
It's a beautiful day. We did not win the pub quiz. We did not lose though. And once again, Callum and Josh did not believe any of the answers me and Daniel gave, and me and Daniel are half decent at pub quizzes. We just get talked out of the right answers too often. Fucking SUV. I know what an SUV is. I'll tell you what an SUV is.
I forgot about that.
So stupid.
I can't even remember that. It's a sports utility vehicle.
Sports
isn't it?
utility vehicle.
What did we say?
Standard. Well, I'll tell you what I said. I said
You
sports.
said sports.
Because
I was on
it's
the
not a
standard
sports
side.
car. And I was like, That's why I know it's called a sports utility vehicle, because it's fucking stupid. And also because it is meant to be trendier, faster. So I'm sat in this Cicchini's on my 18th, and I have this pint of Moretti, and it's fine. And my papa's like, Ryan, try this. And he slides across to me my first, like, weird beer. Because I'm not counting Blue Moon as weird.
No.
Folk showed up
bad
the
rap.
gas. Folk showed up the gas at the age of 15 drinking fucking Copperbergs. I showed up the gas at the age of 15 drinking cans of Blue Moon. That will never be a weird beer in my head. But when my papa slides across the table to me his glass of Arran Blonde, brewed on the Isle of Arran, coming soon to an episode of Piss Takes, I guarantee you. It's just this lager that tastes so much stronger than it has any right to. It's not. I think it's like 5%. It tastes like
it's
now.
50.
It tastes like that Tennent Scotch ale. And I have this, and I'm like, wow. So immediately I've got one of these on the table. So the first pint I chose to buy, which is a difference, which is my follow-up question to you, is the first pint you chose to have was a bottle of Arran Blonde. First pint you chose to have?
That's what I chose to have. Well, I was very, because I didn't like lager, obviously, until very recently. So when I was
It'd be really weird if you didn't like it.
Yeah, no, I do. I love it. But obviously, for like me and 18, I really never stuck to pints. I was always doing spirits, whether it be
you can get away with it at that
Jack.
age.
Yeah,
a year ago.
I was having Jacks or Disaronno's
6 months ago.
Yeah, not that long ago, literally last year. But I think I can't even remember what switched, and I don't know what happened, and I just started liking lager more and more to the point now I'd sooner drink it over any type of spirit.
It's because beer drinking is a different night out.
It's totally different, and there's such less repercussions in the morning. I feel.
You just get up.
Literally, you just.
Except for sometimes.
True. I've not had that moment yet. I hope it's not tomorrow.
It's not going to be
tomorrow. If it's tomorrow, the what's going on?
It's so weird because you could have 3 pints and be equally as drunk as a day where you have 7.
That's through me sometimes.
There is no real.
I mean, there was a time
balance.
you seen me and Tyler, and we had about 6 in an hour.
Well, I mean, that was always going to happen.
So that's what's going to happen, especially I drank the 8 at the end that day. But I don't know, honestly, God, it feels like sometimes you just wake up and you're for it. And other days you wake up and you can stone face 8-9 pints and you'll be fine.
Absolutely, it's such a baffling. But I love the going out for a pint over going out for a drink. Because there's a difference. Going out for a pint, you're going out, you're getting the last bus. You're just going to go to your old man.
You're enjoying the sun,
and you're just having a few drinks, having conversations with your pals.
You're not buying these £8 doubles spirits with a dash.
But whereas like when you go for a drink or a night out, it's like you're trying to force yourself to have a good time. You're trying to force yourself to get drunk and force yourself to have a good time.
And you're buying drinks left, right, centre.
But whereas if you're just a few pints, you're probably gonna have that's how we end up fucking crumbs. Is we just have a few pints and we just start talking. We enjoy the conversation.
And you want to keep going.
It keeps going.
And you use crumbs as an excuse to go.
Exactly. You might as well have a drink.
It's not like me. They do my day in there. I can get a lager in there.
They've got Tennents, which is the subject of this episode. I remember my first pint of Tennents.
I don't think I do. I could probably tell you it was
guarantee it was in Wassels.
I would guarantee it would be in Wassels. I guarantee it probably wasn't even bought by me. It was probably bought by Daniel. Just like most pints I have.
Absolutely.
But I can't remember when. That annoys me because I really wish I could think back to when I started getting into it. But it would have been around. It was this year at some point.
You teetered with it at centre backs, you had 1 or 2.
Aye, so I did, and that was like the Cruz Campos and your kind of more bougie type of lagers, and then I started getting into
and I'm sat with my fucking 10 pack of tinnies and nobody would take one. Daniel's sitting lobbing them across the place to me, and I'm like, what happened to it?
And then with the Star Ramen and the Cruz Campos and the kind of.
Then again, I'll tell you when you first started, it was Red Lion, Presswick, Star Ramen bought for you.
Probably my birthday actually then. That'd have been the first time.
I mean, if any beer was going to do it.
That was the first time I was probably in Red Lion. Oh no, would it have been?
I mean, it would have been the first time I was there.
It would have been far off.
First time I was there
it would have been far off it.
Because Star Ramen is like the gateway beer, I'd argue. If you don't like beer, I'm going to slide this Star Ramen over to you.
Well, 100% was for me. I can tell you, it was next to Star Emily. There's another person that would never drink a lager, but if you're a Star Ramen, she'll finish it without a word.
Such a weird one. I mean, not to give you spoilers for episode 2, but I do think it's gonna be Saro.
You think? I'm totally fine with that. Because I think Starro is
episode 1 you said it with the classic.
The classic. Everybody knows that Tennent's.
Episode 2 you bring in your favourite.
You're going out there, but a lot of folks don't have Star Plum, and I imagine.
Absolutely.
But
it's also your favourite.
Oh,
and I want an excuse to wear the hat.
It's good.
And then episode 3 we'll just pick something wacky. We'll pick something cursed. Because it'll get to that point where
the back shelf of Tesco, like £1.80.
Absolutely, where we're not going to communicate. It's going to be like we'll sit down here.
Carrier bag.
We'll sit down here. This setup, the quality of that might improve. We might have a logo that's better than my art. Look, I'm going to get Josh to do it. He's a talented man.
Yeah, you're probably.
That's the extent of my talent. And I didn't even capitalise the letters that should be capitalised.
I think it has a charm to it though without the capital letters.
It really does. It looks like I did it when I was drunk.
That's what I was going to say. It looks like something you were doing it.
Do my best work. True. Anyway, let's get these done.
Yeah, go on.
Let's get to the good stuff. Anyway, that's a really long-winded way of saying let's decide what these tiers are going to be called.
I was just about to bring that up as well.
Yeah, we've done our intro. A bit of paper. That'll do. That's very, very small.
Yeah, First.
So 5 tiers.
I was going to say, first we establish the number. I would say, because you think 5 is a good range.
5
for a number of
two bad, 1 medium, 2 good.
Yeah, like you can kind of see where it would land on, and I'd go with 5. And it doesn't overcomplicate it, because before we count, we're going to have a category for every beer.
It'll be like the Tennent's tier.
The Tennent's tier, and it's
the Starter Problem tier.
The Shite tier.
Foster's. Right, so
Cools.
What would you call it? So, because tier lists are boring.
Right. But we were talking about this earlier.
Tier lists are boring.
The S, the A. Come on, you've seen it 100 times.
Crap.
A million times.
So we've done a few tier lists in the Gallus podcast before, and we normally have 6 tiers. Because we have a tier at the top, which is titled Gallus.
Is that like your 101?
Absolutely. So the thing is, whoever is doing this is giving myself and Aaron every single episode. We'll more than likely be joined by Josh a lot, and a few random other guests throughout time. We will have to agree on where to place the beer. But the Gallus tier will exist as a kind of above, which means you can just veto my opinion. Which means if I say no, Blue Moon is going in the top fucking tier.
No matter whether I like it or not.
Blue Moon is going in the top fucking tier. If Josh White says Bex is going in there, we will kill him.
Yeah, we will kill him, but it will go in the top tier.
I do have quite strong moral integrity.
That Bex shouldn't be anywhere near a Gallus level.
But I'm also the editor.
You know, I've never had a Bex. I don't think I've actually tried a Bex yet.
Good.
I need to now.
No, you don't.
And I'll find out where I stand on the fence, whether I'm on the Ryan side or the Josh side of things.
No. You'll find out whether you're on the everyone's side.
Or the Josh side.
Or the White family.
Is there not 2 types of Bex? There's a blue Bex and a red Bex, isn't there?
There's non-alcoholic and
Is that what the blue Bex
alcoholic, and they are literally, they taste the exact same, because Bex itself is non-alcoholic. You could have 1,000 Bexes. It'd kill you. But you wouldn't be drunk on the way to death.
You'd still be coherent on the way to the grave.
In fact, you'd commit suicide first. Just at the top.
I have 900
You're
like, no, I can't do it.
Very good.
He didn't die by alcoholism, he didn't die of a fucking liver failure, he just took himself out.
So we'll get the Gallus tier as the top tier, the ultimate veto we want. What kind of name for a middle of the road tier?
I think a middle of the road beer, to me a middle of the road beer is almost like, you could say something like,
I drink it.
I drink it, or it's there, or it's on draft. If there's a lot of beers,
all they've got?
If it's all they've got, because I feel there's a lot of beers, like if it's in a bowl, I'm not touching it. But see if it's on draft, like a Heineken, I'd never buy a bottle of Heineken.
Fair.
But if I see Heineken on draft, then I start to think different.
Circumstantially though, because it's got to be in that one pub that gives it an ice cold.
McSorley's?
McSorley's,
I don't know, I did enjoy that Heineken. I could drink this all the whole night.
Heineken is nice.
But if it was in bowls, I would touch it. Same with Asahi, and even Asahi on a draft, I'm not...
Asahi draft is a particular taste. It's literally got on the glass super
dry
in it for a reason.
They are lying.
You'll have one, you'll enjoy one.
I was at Asahi last night actually, and I was like, oh, you can't let
Don't drink 2.
Oh no, you couldn't. You couldn't.
You wouldn't have a nice time.
So I feel like middle, you could say something like this one draft, or it's there,
That could
or
be
there's
that-
nothing else.
Is that the second bottom tier?
It's there.
Yeah, because
I'd say so. Yeah, maybe actually better off because it feels like you're almost.
bottom tier is going to be
You don't have
something
a
awful.
choice.
And then the second one would be is if you bought me it, I'd drink it.
But you wouldn't buy it yourself.
So like, I'd drink it. I think for the second bottom tier.
So, well, yeah, I'd say, no, 100% actually, yeah, I'd drink it. Because I can think of a good few beers off the top of my head that if you give me it, I'm not going to complain, I'm not going to whinge, and I can drink it, but I wouldn't buy it myself.
I mean, I might complain if there's better shit on offer.
True, but if somebody's buying
But I'd drink it. I would drink
You'd
it.
have to-
Whereas
you'd
there
have to
are
waste.
there are a series of beers that
Oh,
if you
you-
bought me
You're turning your
would
nose up
stay on that table.
Or we get passed around until it eventually found its way down
It's
to the
a
halfway
great
line.
game. It is a great game. As Daniel once brought us a John Smith's, and we just sat spinning around, the table, each taking a sip until it was gone, just to get rid of it. So, what's the worst thing we can think? Piss water, the beer stereotypes.
Yeah, I'd say piss water's pretty good to go. Piss water, or even just tap water, or I feel like a really bad beer can sometimes almost taste soapy. If you know what I mean, have I had that? Or that's just me.
Toilet water, then.
Totally go with that. That's too many words to describe a stinking lager.
Aye,
But
'cause
that's like piss waters.
If piss water and soapy, they're both in toilets.
True.
So we'll go for toilet
And
water.
toilet water, I wouldn't be for
Actually,
drinking that.
both
So,
of them. Aye.
no, middle of the road.
Middle of the road. If you were a middle of the road beer, you're better than you drink it,
Aye.
but it's not a
You're maybe
go-to.
getting actually picked. If you're in the middle of the road, I feel
Yeah.
you might choose it. If you've not seen it in a while, you've not had it in a
Aye.
while, you might choose this lager. I'd say middle of the road.
This is the hardest one I think to name.
Aye, because it's easy to compliment something, it's easy to be negative about something, but it's very hard to just be objective and very
Middle.
neutral about it almost.
Yeah. Two guys making in a room, a light, a
About
camera,
about
drinking Tennent.
tier list of beer.
Being wrote on a spirit stationery thing acquired from the Air Show 3 years
Some
ago.
modern day Socrates and Plato.
Something. Is there an air show this year? I think there is an air show actually. Aye, because it's the weekend we get back for Centre Park. That'll be a mental week. It's everybody's birthdays back air show.
Air show. Oh man.
Air show's good last year. Did you catch it any?
No, I think I can't remember why I didn't go, but that show. Even is what's it? Is it just planes flying overhead now? Still.
Aye. But then like all the shit on the low green. I worked the air show on day 2.
I still work for the obviously the army boys, but wasn't for it.
Standing in the end time escape room stops, people coming up and being like, what's that? And I'm being like, chatting them, eating them the good old
Did
fashioned.
you see that putting a group chat in the holiday about escape rooms in Centre Park?
Escape room in Centre Park.
I didn't
Quite
ken there was
funny.
escape rooms in Centre Park, so I'm honestly,
No.
see if we can't find a better activity.
Fair.
I don't think you can go wrong with an escape room.
No, I mean it'd be good at Centre Parks.
And I've never did one. I think that'd be a crazy story to tell, be your first escape room.
So when I was
sorry.
in Centre Park's Winfell Forest.
Anyway, back to topic.
What's like,
A middle of the road beer.
what if it's not even a beer analogy? What if it's like another analogy we can use? Like, what's just something really fucking mid?
Really mid. Really mid. Really mid. I thought it was really mid.
It's a baffling thing to think about. What about the second top tier? We'll come back.
Go
to
with that. Second top.
Second top.
Like second top tier, you could say like beer garden Worthy.
Oh no, that's top tier. There is
No, but
nothing
I think top
better.
tier. If
There
we're
is
talking top
nothing
tier,
better than ice cold beer garden.
that's what I was gonna say. I think maybe top tier would be like ice cold, like chilled glass. Or chilled glass could be a second Worthy though.
But a chilled glass could save a bad beer. This is where the technicalities do come into this.
True.
Because I guarantee you I'd have a completely different end result of this exact drink I'm drinking right now.
If we were in a beer garden with a chilled glass.
Nah, Tennent's from a tin. There is actually no better way to drink Tennent's.
So it's like the most classic way. It's like the way it should be had.
Like, we should be filming this in the Zulu bar.
Is it too late? Change the scenery? I think we'd end up in trouble for two young adults in Zuluburn with a couple of tinnies looking at a camera.
Big light.
With a
Shining
big
on them.
light. I think we'd end up more bothered
I
than.
don't think we'd end up in bother. I just think Wayne would nick the camera.
Yeah, I'll nick the tinnies and leave the camera. I guess what I've been more worried about.
£4 grand, £4 £4 grand, £4
But drinkable, not drinkable. Good night, not good night.
Yeah, but just to be a dick. The dick's
Sure.
that.
No, to be a dick, they'd punch that over and then they take the titties and you'd lose pain and you'd have like a night where you're
They'd nick my fucking light.
They'd nick the light or they'd nick the legs for it.
Aye, something just...
Or the microphone, and you could never find a perfect replacement for it.
No, that was one of the best microphones about.
Was it?
No.
Oh.
That is the best microphone for the price I paid for it. Which was cheap. But it was on discount when I got it.
Oh.
It's an absolute belter. I've got another microphone that I never use because it's shit. But that one,
Class.
top quality.
I wonder if the case and children would realise.
The sheer value for this.
Like
40 quid, mate.
Is that the... No way. He's got the Blue Yeti.
I don't even know what that mic's called. I know that one's a toner. Based on everyone's favourite toner. Met him in Ireland.
Is he?
Yeah, I met him in Ireland. At McDonald's in Ireland. Yeah, I'm a toner. It's great.
Wow. I need to mention for that when we finish this, but yo, why am I not aware of this? That's crazy. That's nuts. Anyway, back to the topic. So I think we want to settle that. I think we can settle on the first tier being beer garden
Ice-cold
buffet.
beer garden.
Ice cold beer garden.
Crack.
Like, you don't get much better than that day. And it's coming up to that weather soon. It's coming into July.
Absolutely.
We should be having more days like that. Ice cold beer. I don't care if I would what. There's no excuse for not showing up to a beer garden.
And the joy of that is it can be in the day.
It could be during. It can be at 2 p.m. It can be at 5 p.m. It can be at
Absolutely.
9 a.m. If you're for it, hey.
No, because the sun gets really good come like 2, 3.
Oh,
You want
2,
to
3
go
is
2,
like
3.
high noon.
That's like
like
peak.
That's when you see the
power. You don't want to go when the sun's just kind of
meandering about.
Aye, that's when you're. I mean, it's not
That's
a
when
holiday.
you're
That's when
making
you're.
plans
Aye,
to
you're
go out.
sleeping. You know. You're,
That's when you're messaging folk about just seeing the sun here.
Aye, like
This is looking good. Get ready. Clear your plans for 2 p.m.
Millport? Question mark.
Lags, Red Lion, Pressbook. So I think
I
that's
have
easy.
my pitch
for
for the middle
For the middle
tier.
I see that.
Turbolton. We
Yeah,
call
but-
the middle tier Turbolton because what is the most mid
Place in the world,
because it's a fucking shithole.
but it has the fish.
But it's got so much character that it is so much fun to be in.
I can get behind that.
I haven't had a bad like time in
I've
Turbolton.
added the
I've been in Turbolton 4 or 5 times and every single time I've had a good time. Despite acknowledging it being a bit. Yeah.
on the iffy side.
Yeah.
I could get behind that. The whole for a mid tier. I think it almost speaks for itself.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Does it go?
I reckon put it
Does it
down
go?
because we could be here all day thinking the middle. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. What you say about just
Turbolton.
Turbolton, the Turbolton tier. Like you're not happy to be at the Turbolton tier, but you're not too ashamed of it either.
Like,
There's nothing wrong with being at the
No, I
Turbolton
reckon
tier.
if you were a beer and we give you the Turbolton tier, you're gonna like, you're not gonna boast about it to your
No,
pals.
but you'll quietly
But,
be
like,
humble about
you
it.
get enough pride.
Ah, you're like that's me. I could have been, you know, I
could-
could have been toilet
It
water.
could be worse. Look, I could
So-
be doing a lot worse, and also you've earned it. Because
So that's
Turbolton has
it.
earned its reputation of being a shithole. No, Turbolton is a shithole that's earned the reputation of being better than one.
And now for the second best.
Something between
Something-
Ice Cold Beer Garden and Turbolton.
But above Turbolton.
What if it was an Ice Cold Beer Garden in Turbolton? Because that's like the top tier and that tier. So what is the equivalent?
But
of
I
that?
don't think such a thing exists. So I think there is a beer. The closest you get to a
Turbolton
beer
Woods.
garden in Turbolton is somebody's backyard in
The woods. The
Oh, the
Turbolton
woods.
The mythical Turbolton Woods.
Turbolton Woods, where you enter and never return.
Doing the Turbolton fishery in the morning.
Oh,
That's when you hit an AM
no,
vibe.
that'd be above.
That's
second
above
best.
Gallus.
That'd be
That's-
above Gallus.
Aye.
You fucked a boat fishery at cold, chilly winter at 8 in the morning
With a tinny
with frostbite.
bottle of mouse
Still
beer.
like that.
God, take me to Turbolton.
And a wee fucking turn up lunch.
Daniel's gloves
Couple
are
of-
still
couple-
there.
Couple of pieces in garment.
Aye, that's some rolls.
That's too good. That'd
Aye,
be beyond Gallus level. So
That's true. That's
you're getting
the
too big
best-
for the britches
best.
there.
Right.
Second best tier.
Because we're essentially just looking for a nice,
A good
kind
beer,
of moderately comedic way of saying
Fine.
lovely.
Good. Yeah. Good.
Because that's fine slash good.
That's
That's
fantastic.
the best. So this has got to be a kind of
Just great. Really.
It's got. But we're looking for another word for great.
Another word for great.
A kind of way of saying great that is either related to beer or is Bolton.
Gammon steak. I think gammon steak's pretty great. Gammon steak tier. Because don't get me wrong, you get better dinners. But a gammon steak on its day.
That's what we're saying about Bolton. I'd argue gammon steaks are on par with Bolton here.
What? No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say gammon steaks are a bit above that.
What else could we do? Like, we're looking for just a step up. Step from that. A step up from that.
Step off with the bone. A step down from.
It's
There's a
called
pretty
beer
massive
garden.
jump, isn't it? It's a
I don't know
pretty
what
big
you're
jump
talking
to go
about.
from Bolton to a chilled glass in a beer garden.
Why? So we need to find something.
That is, but that's a significant.
Are you telling me that a
jump.
gammon steak is the connector between those two dots?
A gammon steak for the correct pub at the correct price. I'm saying to connect.
That's too many quantifiers.
Well, that's your idea then.
Right.
Because I've spun it around on you.
If I came up with Bolton, I solved that
Sure, no, you did,
problem,
yeah, you did.
creating a larger problem
You did,
in the
you did.
process.
So. Or we could just have it as great, and it could just be the only normal tier. Just to kind of almost discern and even jumble up the rest of them more. Because if they're all like Bolton and gammon steaks, you're like, what the fuck is this tier list even about?
If you
Or
were,
we have the great in there.
if you were a Ned, or a Jakey, or a Junkie, who would you describe a good drink?
Cheap. That's probably
He
the
went
next one.
for the opposite. I'm trying like.
That's how they would describe it.
How can we get the word mad? Like imagine. That's imagine.
Oh,
Like imagine. Like something like that.
Imagine's not imagine.
Imagine.
That's imagine. On it like a car bonnet, man. It's imagine.
On it could be a fun.
On it could be a decent one, yeah.
I think imagine on it. Those kind of
Aye.
could be a nice filler.
I can get you on it. Can get you mad. Get you mad with it. Right now, what do we settle for? On it or
On it
mad?
or
What do you
mad,
think's-
yeah.
What do you think's more closer to the term great? I'd say, personally, I think on it.
Which is of course spelled ONNIT.
Yes. Just on it.
There we go.
The on it tier.
And there it is. So this is the tier. Right, Ryan, now it's time for you to do some editing. Can we get the bottom tier? Toilet water. Then I'd drink it. Then Bolton.
That's the bottom tier.
On it. Ice, cold, beer, garden. It really needs a
Punch. Ice cold beer garden. Pressure.
crack.
What's the best beer garden we've ever been to? Or you've ever been to? What's a beer garden you remember for being good?
I love the Smith's Beer Garden.
Ice cold beer garden. Ice cold smash beer garden.
Nah, it's not gonna get it.
You know?
The truthful answer to the best beer garden will have been one in Prague or Dublin
True,
or
true.
somewhere foreign.
How you could put that? Ice cold forest beer garden.
Sounds racist.
Ice cold.
We're trying to have like personal pride for the lagers of our country,
True,
and you're bringing in foreign,
Foreign.
not being
adversaries
racist.
here.
Anyway. It's our first piss to take, I'd argue, right there.
About the nationalism of beers and their gardens. And where we stand on the political compass of it.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, I won't bring up that. I won't bring up the mention of any type of names that aren't Scottish anymore.
Thank you. Not whilst we are sat here with these things.
With these things, I honestly can't think. Ice cold beer garden weather. No, but I would just put beer garden weather.
Ice cold beer
Because
garden.
ice cold, you don't always get an ice cold glass with a beer garden. I mean, very rarely do you see ice cold glasses.
But what is the two best ways to drink a pint?
Ice cold.
It's ice cold and it's in a beer garden.
True.
In my head, there's a comma between them.
Ice
cold
beer garden.
Beer garden. I suppose the final word would be ice cold beer garden, then insert name of the beer.
True.
So it'd be like
yeah.
ice cold
If you
beer
put it all
garden,
there.
Tennent's.
A nice cold beer garden, Tennent's. Yeah, definitely.
I think that works. And then Gallus, of course, the top tier, the ultimate veto of anything. And with
Different
that,
level.
we have established the tiers of this because, well, I mean, this was original. I've broke my notepad. I've broke my spirit notepad. This was originally meant to be like a pilot. We hadn't really planned what we were going to talk about, and I do appreciate that we're just going to talk about beer for however long we decide to record for this pilot. But I feel like pilot is like, that's too complimentary for what this is. He says as he spills Tennent's on his white jumper.
Oh.
What's a schemier version of a pilot? Like a bus driver. This is a bus driver. The episode.
Or a stunty.
This is a school bus driver. Why is a pilot called a pilot?
I don't know, but what do you call a guy that drives a boat? A sailor? A captain, wouldn't you?
That's cool.
That's a bit
That's
cool.
not schemy. Bus driver, like Stephen, the number 3 bus driver. That's a schemy. Like, I think this is either a school bus driver or just the fucking Terbolton bus. Another episode right here.
Another episode coming up. Schemiest bus routes in Scotland. Shitest bus numbers.
Just us on the bus.
Tier list of bus numbers.
The next Gallus. The next evolution of story tours. Bus stagecoach.
Stagecoach.
Rail tours. Oh yeah, because also as a part of this series, it's under the same brand, and we're going to go to some pubs.
Oh yes.
And we're going to review them in the same way that we did for ScotRail Tours. Sure. The things that the episode and the fucking pub rail tour, they're not going to be linked in any way. They're just under the same piss takes brand. That was white, and now it's gone slightly yellow.
Yeah, it's slightly dampened.
Shit, continuity has gone to shit.
Unless it's also getting pissed with us.
Is it just me? Right, have you got your phone on?
Yes, of course.
Do you have mobile data?
Yes.
Can we find out why a pilot's called a pilot?
Of course.
I would, but my phone's on charge and I don't want to get up and go to the computer. I feel like that's bad etiquette, despite having already done that earlier.
So, why is a pilot...
Is it because it's getting the TV show off the air?
Oh. Oh, it's a boring answer. A pilot's got a pilot because the term originates from nautical navigation, where a pilot was someone who guided ships.
That has nothing to do with TV. Can we get in relation to TV episodes?
Why is
Because
a
that's
pilot-
just why a pilot is
Oh,
called
yeah,
a
I thought you were
pilot in
talking
fucking
TV.
planes. I'm talking about TV.
I thought you were talking about fucking...
Not the real
planes.
one. I want to know why they call episode 1 a pilot.
Why is it called a pilot TV show? Just says here, because it serves a test or trial run, similar to how a pilot in aviation is a test flight. Is a way to pitch the show. No,
Interesting.
that's no one knows.
One day, that is going to help us in a pub quiz.
True.
See how I've seamlessly tied this back into the pub. Speaking of, you brought up gammon steaks.
Yes.
I asked this question recently to Daniel, and he was a bit stumped, but you might have an answer. What is the best beer to scran combo? Because there are just some that are otherworldly, like Blue Moon and fish and chips.
Oh,
Nothing tops the kind of
Blue.
orange taste of the Blue Moon, complemented by the lemony taste of the fish and chips when you've got that lemon on it. It is divine. Or we once did, the best one for Tennent's was in Wassels. You know, you get the packets of crisps, you rip them, you split them in
you
the
split
table.
them, aye.
We got salt and vinegar tailors and haggis tailors. Help yourself to either or, just kind of mix and match, but complemented with a Tennent's. That's one of the most divine combinations I've ever had the joy of consuming.
As well as Tennent's and salt and vinegar and the Twa Dogs. That was a good wee combo.
Like a burger and a Madry, for example.
Oh.
Like, these are combinations that just they complement each other.
They go hand in hand. I thought you can't go wrong with a Tennent's and a gammon steak. because they're just very...
The Cornell 101.
Yeah, like they're very bland, not bland, but you care what you're getting with Tennent's, and you care what you're getting with a Gatman steak.
Absolutely.
But still good, you still enjoy it.
And they make each other a little bit
And
better.
they just kind of bring each other up that way. That's what I'd say. Even a Tennent's Gatman, pretty ball standing combo, you can't go wrong with it. I think there's also, I was wondering, like, what drinks then couldn't you combo with food? Like, what could you combo a Stella with?
Guinness.
Combo a Stella and a Guinness?
No,
Guinness,
just
yeah.
Guinness with food. Daniel, he wanted to go when he was in Dublin and just purely drink Guinness. That was all he was going to drink, but he reached the roadblock of...
What do you eat with it now?
It's really, like, the idea of eating a fucking boneless basket with a Guinness.
Gads. It'd make you know well. Honestly.
So he had to temporarily move to lager and then move back to Guinness. But he obviously was trying the Irish lagers. Rockshore, that was a lager we tried, not very good. Kilkenny, Josh's greatest and one of my favourite beers. It's basically just nicer Guinness in our minds.
Never heard of it.
Like a slightly weaker tasting Guinness. We tried it in Prague. We did a kind of beer tasting in one of the pubs in Prague where they had like 6 different taps. So we thought, you know what, we'll have
just try them all.
We'll have them all. There was a brilliant live band on, so we did what you and Tyler did in Wastles, except our selection was way much better.
And there was also no live music.
Exactly, because we had some of my favourite beers. Hogarden, one of my favourites. Stella, can't go wrong with it.
Oh no, I don't like Stella.
Starapramen, can't go wrong with it. 2 that I can't remember, and Kilkenny. We only remember Kilkenny because that's a funny name, and we didn't know what it was, and when this lady rocked up with what looked like Guinness, we were like, oh, but it was divine. We're in Temple Bar, fucking €12 a pint. Josh White has 4 pints of this. Josh White spends 50 quid on Kilkenny, nicks a glass. Boy loves it. Me and Josh are looking into going to Kilkenny, the fucking place in Ireland.
Just to get
closer
from the source.
Because
the nectar.
Because Kilkenny, I'm convinced, doesn't exist in Scotland. I've never seen it. If I did, I would never leave the place it's sold in, because...
I'd love to do that. That could be a fun goal for the pub, like
pub
Scotland tour. Would be try and find the place that sells the most out there giraffes. Or giraffes you wouldn't find anywhere else.
Yeah, because
I would love to find a place that does, as you say, Kilkenny. I'd love to find a place. I swear I seen there was a pub that was still doing giraffes for the older tenants, like the 9% of the things. I'm just finding the most out there drafts on pints. I think it would be amazing.
That could be like a little sub, because the idea is to like find a pub that is just the best. You sit down, you can have a good talk with your mates. Maybe there is live music. The music volume is generally at a decent volume if there is music. Is there music? Is there food? Could you spend a night there? What's the selection like? What's the prices like? What's the kind of general environment like? Is the kind of plan? I imagine most of it will be just kicking about random tunes about Ayrshire and Glasgow to find pubs, because the size of our balls is an interesting conversation that we're not going to have, but I don't want to do any in air.
No.
Because the idea of a member of staff seeing your post on Instagram and being like, interesting thoughts on my pub. Not got balls big enough for that yet. Maybe a real one. Maybe the confidence will hit one day. I mean, I'd gladly do pubs I don't care about.
Oh yeah.
Like I do the fucking Black Bull.
I've just never even stepped foot in there.
Do you know the ones I do? The other side of the water.
Yes.
The other side of the water.
Because that's like
what does happen in the Wallace bar? Like, what really is?
And there's always somebody stood outside it. There can't be very good inside. Because every time you go by,
9 AM on the bus up the college,
there's somebody
still
there.
there.
The last bus I'll get into the Millen, I guarantee there'll be somebody stood outside the Wallace. There was somebody stood outside the Wallace on my way to Caiston. There's always somebody stood out there.
Well, not even spoken.
No, that's just a time, right? There's always somebody stood out there. So it can't be very good inside. If folk are chasing to go out the door.
Well, just one person.
So just one. And he's always shouting at somebody across the street that he recognises.
Do you ever hear the wee Windies stories of old?
No, but I walked by there once and it was really lively. And I was like, wow.
So wee Windies is one of the most fascinating cases in here. Myself and Callum, every night we'd be sat in the escape room on a Friday or Saturday. And we'd just be like, what is that fucking rummikit? Round the corner, wee Windies, giving it fucking loudly. And it's great, and it's heaving. We leave at like 10, streets flooded with older people. So we're like, you know what, see one day, see when we get off at 8 o'clock, we're going to nip into Wendy's on a Saturday. One day it happened, we went in, 2 pints of Tennent's, it was like £3 each, and we're like, duck ass cheap on a Saturday, insane. Couldn't get moving in the place. Genuinely, we were at the bar because there's no seats, and also because we couldn't go anywhere from the bar. Live music was out of this world. Place was insane, but it's recently under new management.
Oh, I hope.
Not recently, but this
Since
iteration.
you've been there.
Yeah, this iteration. Because the old
Have you
story
been
of
back?
Wee Wendy's, no, under new management a couple of years ago.
Oh, sorry.
But the old stories of Wee Wendy's is you were not allowed to swear in the pub, and if the barman / owner caught you swearing, banned. You would never get back in the place. He remembered the face, no swearing. He didn't like it, but everybody knew that, so it became a bit of a game.
Oh,
Can you get away?
how
with
loud
swearing?
or how much?
Like the fucking bogies.
Literally.
Yeah, can I have a fucking pint of Tennent's, please? Just hoping he wouldn't catch that you've just said a swear word to his face.
That sounds a bit ridiculous, so as well. Watching your P's and Q's in a pub.
But he's established a bar, and from what I've been told is there wasn't like, he would bar regulars for it, so it wasn't
True,
like
but
there was double
favouritism.
standards.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, you can't because you're new,
But he can.
you are regular who's
yeah.
been here for 15 years, you've swore, you can stay. It was just a flat out.
Is that straight rules for
So everybody knew the rule,
Mm-hmm.
and if you didn't know the rule, then why the fuck are you actually going to Wee Wendy's? Look. But that was the story of Wee Wendy's. I recently went on the Callum's kind of farewell night from the Escape Room with the boss, because it's just round the corner, and I kid you not, Gregor's whole thing was, I cannot be bothered walking to another pub, this one is the closest.
And was it as good as you remember?
It was a good time, yeah, we just had a blether talk, basically just quizzing Callum about Canada, and then we went to the Smoking Goat on that night.
Oh, Smoky Goat.
That was
I've came to really like the Smoky Goat recently.
Smoking Goat's good.
Because I don't remember, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how much it is for a tenant, but I don't think it's too.
It's like,
It's like
so,
4 something.
on a Monday to Thursday it's £3.
That's what annoys me. Is
But
this?
they've got to get folk in the door on
I
the quiet
know,
nights.
but it's like this upcharge just because it's a weekend.
Well, that's when people are going to be in the doors anyway, except for that one Saturday we were there and maybe there was 7 people in the place. We were the 7 people.
What was that there? What was that?
Colin's birthday.
Oh yeah, that was very recent. Yeah.
Sorry, 9 people, because there was a lovely little couple
So
who
there was
did
like
not
2
get
people
involved
that were
in the band.
no, that were not involved in anything.
This is the fucking day that Daniel monopolised karaoke, and I
Yeah, very much.
always remember you just being like, line crossed when the karaoke guy like knows you by name.
That's right. I was like, alright, Daniel.
Like,
What's going on?
As you said, the karaoke guy is a simple thing. You say a song, he says, I've got it, I've no. That's where the relationship
That's right.
ends. Don't need to have a chat.
Doesn't it?
Doesn't need to come to the table. It's a bit like a barber. I will gladly listen to your life story, or tell you my life story
Well,
when
I've
there
sat
are
that
scissors in my hair. But see, if I bump into you in the street, I do not want to stop and talk to you. Happened recently.
Oh,
Bumped into my barber in the street.
what's that barber you go to?
Haircuts.
Oh, that one across the train station?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The legend. The legendary haircuts.
Mm-hmm.
They recently came to the Escape. Well, actually, it was last year during the air show. To come back to that conversation, the haircuts people came to the Escape Room. Callum was working, which is a shame, because that night I think it was myself, Josh, Alex, and Daniel went to the air show, and Callum couldn't make it because he was working, doing the people from Haircuts. And then the next day I was working the stall. That was great. I remember having 2 ice creams that day. That made me happy. And getting to see like the red arrows and the Vulcan go the big loud. And the air show's fun. I like the air show.
I've not been there in years. I
It's
used to
like
go there.
100,000 plane nerds. Sorry, 100,000 people, 10,000 plane nerds all together. And for moments, everyone just becomes a plane nerd. Because some people are like, wow, I can tell you so many facts about the place, but other people, like me, are just like, that was fucking loud.
Let's do it again.
Fly over again, fly over again, fly over. A man just jumped out of that plane. He's landed right in front of me. Can I get my selfie with him? Right, let's go to the shows. Let's get on the fucking spinning.
The waltzers.
The vomiter.
They freak out.
Aye. Aye, good food combination, sorry, with alcohol, that's where we started that conversation.
Um,
Imagine you could get a really nice combination with a steak pie But I don't know what the complementary beer is.
That's what we had on your birthday in Merchant. Me and Alex had that steak pie, and I can't remember what we were drinking with it. Was it a Heineken?
No, I mean it might have been. I'm not sure.
I can't remember. We had that, and it went quite well.
It's literally called steak and ale pie for a reason. I think you want an ale. You want something thick and heavy.
Aye, to help it go down.
You want something thick and heavy. You want a mouse beer.
What was it? What are the colours of the mouse beers again? The correlations.
You've got blue mouse beer, which is bog standard, completely fine, quite nice. You've got green mouse beer, which is fucking strong.
And they're all the same, just lager.
Ales.
Oh, they're ales, sorry. So they're all just ales.
Yeah. You've
different flavours,
you've
different
got
trends.
red mouse beer, which is essentially blue mouse beer and green mouse beer mixed,
Okay.
and it's the nicest one.
What's the one we had in spoons at one time?
We had the purple mouse beer, which is the one that sticks out, because the other three taste very, very similar.
And the other three, they're not quite common.
Yes, but this purple one.
I remember just searching for this at one point. Searching for the
yellow mouse. The yellow mouse.
Oh, is
beer.
it the yellow?
Mouse
I
beer.
think that's something different as
Yellow
well.
mouse
It's like a
beer.
Nercoil or something.
Yeah,
they call
yellow
it.
mouse beer is fucking fascinating case study. Doesn't exist. Does
Right.
not exist.
One day I'll bring up here for piss takes. I'm gonna bring
And
it.
do it when Josh is here.
Oh,
do it for a Josh.
I'm actually when Josh is. I'll bring
Yeah.
up a massive case of yellow mouse beer.
Baffled by this entity because I saw it on tap once in the spoons in Sir John Moore in Glasgow. Once.
And
I saw it after I bought my Blue Moon.
so it's too late.
It was too late. We were going for the bus in half an hour. I was pushing it with half an hour to drink a Blue Moon. I could do that. It's like the only pint I can drink quickly because
It's Blue Moon.
it's a Blue Moon, and I'm a very slow drinker. Podcast people, very slow drinker. Which is the joy of beer.
True.
You can genuinely sit
enjoy
down
it
with a beer.
and enjoy
I
it.
watched a movie last night with my mother. We watched, what was it called? This Time Next Year. She's like, I haven't watched a movie in a while, and I was like, we'll watch a movie. And because you're sitting down to watch a movie with your mother, I was like, we'll find some romance movie that I might be interested in. It was a romance movie filmed in London, and I thought, well, at least I can be like, it's London. I can get a kick out of being Paddington was filmed there as well.
True.
It was such a 6 out of 10 movie. Because
It was to Bolton.
yeah, it was a 5 out of 10 movie. Wee bit better than that. But not
To Bolton necessarily.
But I like refuse to call it good.
I didn't earn that right.
Yeah,
Didn't earn that car.
That's when you get to like the 7 out of 10s. But like, it's not mid. Yeah. I had a bottle of beer and drank it the entire length of the movie. Because you can make a beer last however long you need to.
What about that? I don't fucking make it last that long, Jesus.
I'm a slow drinker.
I was going to ask on the topics of beers and lagers. I don't know if it's a topic for another video.
This is very much the topic of this
But
episode.
differences between wheat beers, pale beers, and say like, because I'm right in saying an Amstel is a different type of creation, is it not? I swear the way they're made is different.
Are you actually asking me how beer's made right now?
Neither how they're made, but the differences in how they're made. Like, why does some taste so different?
Pasteurisation. How long it's boiled or some shit. Guinness. So Guinness is a beer that goes through many stages in its creation. The stout that is Guinness. It features a stage called the roaster, who roasts it. Okay, and once the roaster's done roasting it, he grogs it. Me and Josh are reading this at the Guinness official brewery tour, thinking this is a piss take. This is just buzzwords for Scottish people to be like, roaster. Can I say that? Can I say that anymore? Grog in the drink. Can I say that anymore? What? And once the roaster is finished grogging the drink, it becomes something called a what? I really don't want a Guinness at the end of this tour now. You're really
Put them off.
really
I
putting me
guess.
off. Yeah, it's kind of like wheat beer is a lot more obviously wheaty. It's not fizzy. It doesn't bubbles don't shoot up. That's to do with how long it's
Fermented.
yeah left in the fucking big things that you see, the big tubes outside. I don't know. You're asking like a quite like. We're not going to do an episode one day where we genuinely sit down with fucking scientific coats on, shitty glasses, and go with a fucking notes board in the background being like, this is how beer is made. Because genuinely, not to ruin your question, I don't care.
Oh.
I just want to drink the shit.
Well, I can tell you from
Beer is
extensive research, this was barley in fresh water.
There's beer, yeah.
So,
Oh, we were eating the barley in the Tennent Brew Tour, which we'll do at some point, absolutely.
oh, I keep forgetting about that, but yeah,
Cannot
no,
wait.
that'll be a
Cannot
good
wait
time.
for it, yeah.
Well, we're not waiting for Josh, are we?
O'Connell had to,
Oh,
because
O'Connell's
Josh done it, so I think
Sorry,
Con will be
O'Connell.
it.
I'll make sure I'll ping him for that in the night. I'll let you figure it out. I'll go to this Tennent's brewery.
I've got a kind of few free-ish weeks, not next week, but the 2
The
weeks
weeks
after
after.
that. Not a conversation that needs to be on air because the tape delay from recording this to when I actually decide to upload it can take a couple months. Because like most good things, you build a back catalogue and then you upload things. Oh, that's me taking a little breather now. If you felt the time. But filling for time does not mean let's just drink.
So what was I to fill in the time?
It's alright, I've had my breather, I had a drink. So this show's gonna be great.
Oh, I like it. It's a good idea. Just
It
because it's so. Just is what we would. I'd do this any day of the week.
This is just us having a conversation in
Literally.
the pub.
Literally.
There happens to be a light.
But it makes no difference to me. I mean,
Exactly.
it's just one less headache.
I've got a
instead
list
of
currently of about 20 ideas for topics.
For topics.
I think it's
I'm
pretty
guessing start on the second episode. Or
good. Sorry?
I'm guessing that'll start from the second episode.
Yeah.
We'll just start kind of.
Yeah, we'll go through the topics from the
Working
second
our
one.
way through
This one, it was the bus driver of an episode, because pilots have boring reasons for being called pilots. And it turns out the conversation was just beer in general. Which I think is a great thing for a podcast, which is ultimately going to
beer.
very, very loosely be about beer. It's going to be about whatever we like to talk about.
True.
And
Well,
it'll be beer
sipping
drunk.
on beer.
Absolutely. It'll be about our beer. But you'll have to see, like, the episode will be titled The Theme, and then you'll have to see the beer when you start watching it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it'll be good. If you ever have any ideas, if Josh has any ideas, we can add them to the bank. They're all so different. That's what I like about it. Every episode is going to be a kind of different style. Like, I've got ideas to try and figure out logistics of us sitting down and playing a board game whilst drinking beer. Like, I'm talking camera on a table, looking down.
We're
that
sitting on
camera
a Monopoly
here.
board.
Not
About a
Monopoly,
nice
because that'll be 4 hours long, but like
I've
short
never
out
played
games.
Monopoly in my life. Fun enough.
Well, doing it on a podcast is something we might do.
True. First time experience of Monopoly. I've never played Monopoly.
We
I've
might
seen
do
it and I know of it, but I've never
We
played it.
might do it.
Or we do it at Cineplex. You never know Monopoly at Cineplex. I even mentioned you bringing the board games.
I'll bring good board games.
So no, it's not Monopoly.
One of my favourite Monopoly stories. I've had many a good Monopoly story. Oh, this is going to be me telling Monopoly stories for a few minutes, but I think that's fine, and we've got time. We once went to Waterstones in Glasgow, because we had an escape room.
There's one in Glasgow.
There's 2 in Glasgow.
I didn't care it was a branch, I thought it was just a local thing.
Waterstones Cafe is also in Glasgow. And there's hundreds of Waterstones all over the
I thought it was a
the
franchise.
Edinburgh one is fucking mental. Like, the Ayr one's the worst Waterstones, but also
No, but Edinburgh's always going to do so big in it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they're always, if you've done it,
me
they've
and
done
Ryan,
it
when we
better.
stayed in Edinburgh, waited 30 minutes to get a seat in the
Waterstones.
Edinburgh Waterstones just to have breakfast. It was.
Is it good at least? The brekkie?
It was a Waterstones breakfast. It was completely out of 10, yeah. Because it's expensive, but it's tasty. So,
it's tasty.
but it also did not taste any better than the one in there. Because it's a
same stuff,
Waterstones
yeah.
act. Exactly. We are in this, we're doing an escape room. I could tell it. We're doing the second escape room we ever did, right? It was Magician's Heist. One of my favourite escape rooms we ever did, up in Glasgow. The 3 of us, we then go to Waterstones beforehand, because we've got like 3 hours to kill. Because the plan was, we'll do that, we'll go for dinner. I think it was Sir John Moore, have Blue Moons and Zoom Times or whatever, eat food, then go to the escape room. Best beer. And then go back to some more pubs and get a bus or train home. We're in this fucking Waterstones, sitting in the cafe, and Callum pulls out Travel Monopoly. Which, I was like, alright, this could be Monopoly but quick. No. It's actually just really small Monopoly. It's the exact same game. It still takes about 4 fucking hours. But it's just tiny. Which makes it even more annoying to play. Now I elect this to be the prime time to go for a shit in the Waterstones Monopoly. So I go to the toilet. Shit. And you ever have those moments where you're in a toilet and then you go to grab toilet roll and you're like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those moments in the Waterstones on the 4th floor. And I'm like, right, how high up can I get my boxes without making contact?
With your ass.
How loosely can I tie my belt to stop anything making contact? Because there is a toilet on floor -1. And there's a lift. All I have to do is get from here to the left
without having too much scrape.
Because if I went down the stairs, I'd be fucked.
Oh, no, you'd game over.
So I'm like, right, here it is, the left. I get to the left, I just completely walk past Callum and Josh, and they're like, are you okay? Is he okay? Is he okay? And I'm just kind of like,
no, it's possibly
I'm
on
like,
the code red.
Don't worry, code fucking brown, mate. Code fucking brown. Someone shat in the sink. The old school code brown. And good. I get in this lift, I successfully make it down the lift, we get to floor 2, someone comes on, and I'm like, they don't know I'm standing here with a shitty arse, they don't know this, they don't know this. I get to floor -1, can't find the toilet, get to the toilet, shit, it's customers only. How can I convince the person to give me the code to get into this toilet? Because they're going to be like, have you bought anything? I'll be like, no. And they're like, are you just into using the toilet? And I'll be like, yes, I'm a teenage boy. But how can I
shit in my pants?
How can I tell them that I'm a customer at the cafe? Because they'll be like, well, why didn't you use the toilet upstairs? Because there's no fucking toilet paper, I've just shat. Luckily, this person did not give a fuck and just gave me the code. So I went, and as I'm doing it, I can see there's a person who looks like they're about to blow up, needing the toilet. In one cubicle. And I'm standing there, morally, the right decision is to give this person the code and to let them go first. So I did. And then I heard things I did not want to hear. Praying they did not use all of the toilet paper for what they have just done. I find the disabled toilet and don't have to see the end of this story. But I found the disabled toilet and I hope that person was okay. I made it back, I get up to play Travel Monopoly, I sit back down, and Callum's like, what the fuck, flips the tiny Travel Monopoly board, and I'm like, same old shit, something like that. We then played Travel Monopoly, and I kid you not, it lasted 2 hours, and it only ended because...
You had to.
Because So Monopoly's such a shit game for this reason.
Come on, cut some slack.
It's such a shit game because it takes many, many hours. Josh was eliminated an hour in. So for the next hour, it was a 1v1 between me and Callum.
Just chasing each other's tails.
What the fuck's Josh doing? And also, it's fucking tit or tat. Callum makes some money, I make some money. Callum loses some money, I lose some money. It's just a fucking stalemate until someone gets really fucking lucky, which takes an hour to get to. So it always gets to the point where Josh, just right before he's eliminated, is like, whoever's in second place at that time, oh, I'll team up with you. We'll monopolise and we'll work together. So they're obviously going to win. It's the issue with 3-person Monopoly. 4-person Monopoly is fine. 2-people Monopoly is just a sad experience.
I can't say I've never tried it. And you've put me off trying it.
But I have only ever done this once, and that is Drunk Monopoly. That was good, because I was at Zoe Hill, Amy Lafferty and Hutchies, and we're doing Drunk Monopoly. I've had too many blue moons. This game is insane. I do not remember it. I think I lost. It was brilliant. So, Drunk Monopoly is good, so maybe Piss Takes Monopoly, the fucking 10-hour special, will happen at some point with Josh White.
Crack on to my third Tennent.
Because luckily, Air Monopoly does exist.
Do you own Air Monopoly?
I own Air Monopoly.
Of course, I thought you would. I knew you would.
Oh shit! So another great Monopoly story. Monopoly's such a weird one. It's, if you were to ask me what the Turbolton bulb game is, I tell you, Monopoly. It's a shit game. It is fundamentally bad, but at the same time, you can make a good time out of it. Monopoly games either go two ways. Horrible, depressing, you hate yourself, you want to die, and you never talk about it again. Or you get a really good story out of it.
Play the shitty pants.
Normally the story is actually attached loosely to it, much like the boxers to the asshole. Yes, but my mum last year for Christmas, bought me a Monopoly. Now I want you to guess what theme this Monopoly my mother got me was. Now I did this game at the escape room. I once had a team in the abandoned academy, this classroom game, come in and they were telling me how they paused the game of Monopoly to come here. They were 4 fucking uni students, they were nerds. They were kind of cool, but they were also the kind of Glasgow uni students that I really am not into. You know, the guys with the hair to like here, the fucking shitty moustaches, the girls that look like girls. And they were telling me about this Monopoly game, and right before I locked them in the game I was like, my mum bought me Monopoly for Christmas this year. What theme do you think it was? They did not get it, and I thought if anyone was going to get it, it'd be those fucking nerds. Because it is the most dumb thing I think I've ever seen.
Can I get a clue first before I go off in the wrong direction?
Place.
It's just a place. Aberdeen. Can I get another clue? Is it a foreign place, or is it somewhere to do in maybe Europe? Is it in Europe or is it outside Europe?
City.
It's a city. So I'm guessing not Edinburgh. I'm guessing not Glasgow, not Perth, or Dundee.
It's not Scottish.
It's not Scottish. It can't be Scottish. Is it London, Manchester?
It's not even guessable.
It's not even. So it's a city that I would never guess. Real Madrid.
It's a city that you would never guess that there is no reason I would ever own, and for some reason, I own.
But this has to be a city that was well enough established that they made a monopoly board.
They made an air monopoly. I wouldn't go that far.
That's a true. That's not fair enough, actually, you know.
Wallace Allen is a square on Monopoly. Yeah. The Grain Exchange is a square on Monopoly. St John's Tower is a square. The cheapest square for 60 quid is Greening Castle. The most expensive square for 500 quid is Culzean Castle, which is not an air.
There's no, yeah, don't know.
The racecourse in Maple kind of way.
Maple.
But yeah, kind of Maple, Dunur, that kind of area. The racecourse is the other and most expensive square, which makes at least sense.
So a city that I would never guess. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin. Like Nepal, Budapest.
I barely knew this was a place. I knew it was a university.
So it's a university. Is it American?
It's British.
It's a British university. Yale? Oxford?
I own, for some, well I know the reason, but for some unknown reason, Cambridge Monopoly.
Oh, Cambridge.
I own Cambridge Monopoly. Then my mum saw on the side of the box, Monopoly City Edition. Not realising that it was
Cambridge.
Not realising it was a city. Thinking each of the squares was going to be like
a city,
Glasgow, Prague, Madrid, so on and so forth. But I have never. So Christmas morning, when you open a present, I'm like, I pick it up, I give the box a shake, and I'm like, well, I know this is a Monopoly. That's
4 notable pieces.
Over Christmas, over the Christmases of my lifetime, I've had Only Fools and Horses Monopoly, Marvel Monopoly, Monopoly, Minions Monopoly, that was a weird one, Fortnite Monopoly.
Oh, that'd be good. Do you remember Fortnite Monopoly?
I own that somewhere in this house.
I want to see it. Just see the places I'm actually. It's like Tilted Towers, $100.
Pleasant Park.
Pleasant Park's like 60.
I know there's like hit points and you actually fight people and it's like it's got
Squad wipe on Fortnite Monopoly.
It's not just normal Monopoly rules. It's got added extras.
If you bring that to Centre Park, it's going to get chucked out the window if you start talking about
I might have
Monopoly.
already chucked it out of them. I brought genuinely good games to Centre Parks. I want that to be known. The joke of Ryan likes board games and brings board games that are shit is not true. It's an idea.
What were the ones you brought to Centre Parks? I remember
brought True Colours, which is the one we played.
True Colours was a good one. That was good fun.
I brought a game that would have been good if we played it. It was called Master Data. It's essentially.
I remember we talked about this. It was an option list.
You go on dates with each other, and every now and again you have to reveal something about yourself. It would have been very funny if intoxicated.
September 1st.
No, I've realised that the games that work for Centre Parks is your Quiplash is that.
Oh, Quiplash.
Quiplash is that.
You're not beating Quiplash.
So the game that needs to be taken to Centre Parks.
Funny, easy laugh. That's what you're there for.
The game that needs to be taken to Centre Parks is games that are option games in relation to conversation starters with each other, because that's all that True Colours game was. Because it got to a point where we stopped taking points. We stopped doing points because you were either going to win or lose, because you are so far on either end of the spectrum.
I was a good winner.
No, it's because
I'm very black and white.
Exactly.
There's a yes or a no answer.
I was quite similar, but for very different questions. It's either yes, old, or dumb.
Yeah, is he hip with it, or is it monk?
Essentially, but it was good conversation that it kicked off. That's the kind of games that I need to
There's a good laugh.
Because I've got a game called Would You Still Love Me, which is essentially just would you still love me if, and then something is said.
Is it a self-input or is it a card?
The card self-inputs.
Self-inputs.
It's a conversation starter. So it's like, would you still love me if I had never been in a relationship before? Genuine, serious conversation that you might want to one day have. Would you still love me?
But would that be good between mates, so that they'd know more? Like,
I think
you're like a couple, like a 4-way date.
I think it would be kind of funny between mates if intoxicated. All of my games come with the asterisks if you do need
you have to be
moderately
not
intoxicated.
sober mind.
That's True Colours worked because you could do that sober.
True. And we added a little bit of drink to it, so it only made it better.
Yeah, so.
Whereas Quiplash was mostly on sober.
Oh, it was so sober, Quiplash, yeah. I remember that. No one was naked during Quiplash or anything.
Was I naked during Quiplash? I think I was naked during a full holiday anyway.
I don't think I saw you with clothes on. The most clothes I saw you wearing was in the swimming pool.
Was in the swimming pool? Same bit. It'll be the same this year. So I don't expect any difference.
Just wear some socks.
No, man.
Just don't poke
I'd wear everything but socks.
Just don't poke me with your foot then.
Well, things happen, okay? There's
no,
roadblocks in life.
You make things happen.
There's roadblocks in life.
I want there to be a roadblock between me and your fucking big toe.
Who are you sharing a room with this Fairfax?
Connell?
I don't know why it's still up in the air, because I think it shouldn't be. I think I've been told multiple times.
It's Daniel and Alex.
You know, you and Connor in the double bed, aren't you?
No, me and Connor are in the singles. It's you and Josh in the double. Oh, he's a freaky boy.
Oh yeah.
He's a freaky boy.
Oh, freaky! Oh hell! I had to turn the tables on me. I'm in the incredible wall of pillows between us. So that Josh will be out fucking at 1 AM taking photos anyway.
I'll be out at 3 phone running.
You'll be at 3 phone running, and then at 4 you'll be back in a still game.
I had a fucking brilliant time, man. Josh White will be actually with me, phone ren mad singing. Which is a good activity.
Maybe I should join. I'll phone Emma. She'll probably be in bed.
We call that phone ren Emilying, because phone ren has become the activity of phoning your girlfriend for obnoxiously long amount of times when you really should be with your mates, but your mates are asleep, so does it really fucking matter?
True.
That's
on an extremely cold November night. With a bottle of beer that freezes mid-walk.
Nowhere. Oh, it was so good. Best Stella I've ever.
The Stella, I can't remember what beer it was, but I mind it was fucking shanking, you told us.
This is called the risky Tennents.
I'm not even going to join you because it would not last a second on my leg.
I do this way
end up in the bed.
This podcast opened with me opening a beer. It went everywhere, and I wiped it on my face. I already smell of Tennents.
True. So,
and Ren is already not going to like that tomorrow. I'll bathe.
Oh.
Maybe I will.
Anyway, back to the talk of the lager.
Your beer. That's what we talked. That was the theme of this episode, wasn't
Sure,
it?
it was just
Beer.
kind of like spoke about everyone but beer. I feel.
We went on. It started. You brought up Monopoly, right?
Well, I didn't expect to get like a whole 20-minute interview, shitting your pants and Witherspoon fucking Waterstones, and have to run 5 floors of difference to get a toilet roll.
And the moral of the story is Monopoly is a bad game.
I don't know if that was in the cards.
No, I brought it back to beer. I said Monopoly is a good game when you have beer.
Yeah, they made it in.
Because I didn't remember it.
But beer.
It's true of all board games.
What is there to be said that we haven't already said?
Absolutely. Let's just keep zigging zagging.
Beer.
I've thought all my good beer got. We used to, so we had a Homer Simpson bottle opener. It was a Homer Simpson.
Oh, the one that makes the noise?
Yes.
Of course you had that.
We established this in one of the first podcasts we ever did when we drank. It was the Gallus 1 year anniversary. It's myself, Callum and Josh, we sat down, we used this Homer Simpson to crack open our beers, and Homer, every time we make a sound effect, he'd go, beer. 90% of the human body is made up of water, but in my case, it's beer. Or, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems. He just did these Homer sound bits.
The quips.
Absolutely, he did some quips. But on the Callum Farewell podcast, we used that for all of our little drinky podcasts. We also had a Prague one, because Prague is very much myself, Callum and Josh's like friendship cling to. We used the Prague and the Homer one. And on Callum's Farewell one, the Prague one broke. And Homer Simpson lost his mind, because instead of saying the cause of and solution to all of life's problems, he just went and we were like, Homer? No, because it wasn't even just a podcast. Anytime Callum would come around to my house, which is once a week, twice a week, to watch a movie, because if myself and Callum were ever just sat doing nothing at night, he literally lives over there. So he'd just come round and we'd watch fucking Still Game or Commando or Con Air or any movie ever.
On the same single bed? I hope not.
On these two
thank
chairs
God.
or downstairs on the couch. We'd
Thank
watch
God.
some wrestling, we'd play some games, drinking beer. Because Callum would always stop off at the spot and pick up a random beer. The story of Piss Takes, the podcast right there.
Yeah, very much so.
And we would whip out this Homer Simpson thing, and every single night it would work. And then the day he's like, right, it's 3 days before he went to Canada, we filmed this Farewell podcast. Homer Simpson died.
No.
I don't know what the official Piss Takes bottle opener's going to be. We may have bottles. It's going to be interesting.
We're going to need to find something, but there needs to be something interesting. It can't just be like a box standard bottle opener, I feel.
Yeah.
Now what it talks, I'm going to have a look on Amazon when I go home and try and find something that speaks to us and gives us some quips.
Because like, if we could get like a Centre Parks bottle opener, it'll become that. But I don't know what it'll be for now. I know Josh has a Guinness bottle opener and a Star Prum bottle opener, so whenever Josh joins us, we can drag him to bring one of those, because they at least have stories. Because a bottle opener is as good as its story. Much like everything in this world, you're only as good as the story you can tell with it. And we'll drink to that one.
I'll drink to that.
It's the old quote, we're all just stories in the end, so make it a good one.
I'll drink to that again. Just an excuse for another sip.
Just set that down right there.
Sadly, my bottle opener at home is nothing bougie or worth it talking about. It's just a can opener with a bottle opener at the end, so it's a 2-in-1 multi-deal.
Have you ever thought about it's only now just hit me. The biggest problem of this series that we are going to face going forward, worst thing it is.
Biggest problem I think we'll face of this series is not talking about other beers when we're talking about the beer, the video.
That's an interesting one, but it's not the one I'm thinking
What
of.
do you think of?
What is the number one thing you need to do when you drink beer, and the number one thing that you really shouldn't do when you're trying to have a continuity-led podcast?
Pee.
And on that note,
Pee break.
what do you think I'm going to do to cover for that cut? Because it'd be really weird if all of a sudden it just goes blah, and I'm in a slightly different position, so are you.
So yeah, and I'm wiping my mouth as if I was just eating Cheez-Its.
So what image do you think I have briefly put on screen?
Image you would briefly put on screen. I'd hope not just the screensaver back there.
That's really funny though.
But did you?
If it cuts to like standby, piss takes, or it's like Ryan went for a piss.
Take 5.
Look, we're figuring this out as we go along.
No, that's a good idea. Ryan's went for a piss. Take 5.
But it will actually only be like 5 seconds.
Like
5 seconds.
yeah,
Like it's 5 seconds. You know, we're not making you wait 5 unless you need a piss too.
Do we implement piss take pee breaks?
No, because one of my favourite ideas I've ever had for a bit was, you know, like when you're watching like a sketch comedy, like a Burleston or a Lemmy show. I think it'd be really interesting if a sketch was the viewer needs to piss, so we just watch some guy go piss. Like, we're not looking at his cock, but like
No,
watch
we
him
just watch him
get
go
up
to the
from the
toilet.
couch, go up the stairs, belt undone, pisses.
Flushes, washes his
There's
hands.
like a countdown on screen that you're not seeing because you in my head are also going to piss. It's to actually implement piss breaks into
the show.
to something. We're not doing it for this series because I don't want to edit that. I'm a lazy man.
That's a good idea. I don't have to blather quite. I quite like that. That'd be quite funny.
I think it'd be funny.
Even just the one time doing it, just doing an episode, just randomly.
Yeah,
For no reason, just a full on pee break.
But like the entire episode just stops because, well, the fucking viewer needs to piss, so we'll let them. As do I, the editor. I need to piss, so I'll let myself. What's been the best pint of Tennent you've ever had?
Best bit of tennis I've ever had. Honestly, it's gonna sound like it's a boring answer, but I think Wassels.
Wassels,
Just because Wassels is where I've had the most pints. It's where I've had the best laughs. It's where I've had the most stories to tell. The most this. I've had the most pints as well. Like I feel like I've had pints of, you know, with Tennent's and Smiths or Smugglers, Twaddles, and Glasgow. They're good pints, aye. But when you're talking about, you know, the story of a pint and the background there, aye, you've got to go to what you know, aye, your roots. Wassels is my roots. That's where I had probably my first pint of Tennent's.
Everything's as good as the story that.
And so I'd say my best pint of Tennent's is the ones I've had in Wassels. Even though I've had many, it's still my favourites because it's where it's from, in my eyes, in my head, in my story. It's where it's from.
Well, that's going to change.
True.
Because my answer is the Tennent's Brewery.
Oh, that could be a game changer.
The 3 pint of Tennent's at the end of that tour was
phenomenal.
Delectable, if that's a word.
It is, and it means delicious.
Good, I thought so. It was just out of this world because it was unpasteurised, it was filtered from the heather or whatever it is, the bit that they say. It was.
And it's straight from the source, like
Absolutely.
It really is, it's straight from the source.
It didn't have to travel anywhere.
It's not been sat waiting or
Exactly. I mean,
it's
it
just
has.
been-
It's
well,
been sat waiting for me
But
to get that down my fucking throat.
oh, that's maybe I can't wait. I want to do that. I'm gonna message Club with this right after this to say, get your finger at your arse. I'm for it.
Okay. So, again, not a conversation for the podcast, but see the second week in July, like 8th through to
Yeah,
15th.
that, yeah.
a day that week.
I know me and Colin and Daniel are going to see a football game on July 6th.
That's
Which
Sunday.
is a Sunday.
That's next Sunday.
So
the 7th through
7th
to
onwards,
the 14th.
I feel like
7th to
we
the
should be
14th.
sound. Well, I'm free for it anyway because I'm off college.
Yeah.
So I'm just got my job on a Monday, Fridays. I can go after the Friday or a Monday, or I can go on any day of the week. So
Tuesday's a good day.
Tuesday's totally fine with me. I'm totally free Tuesday. I'll ping Colin about it. Do you want to do July Tuesday after the football?
That sounds like a.
July 6th is the football. It's on a Sunday. It'd be July 8th.
And see, the best part is, seeing Piss Takes episode 2, you'll hear us talk about the Tennent's Brewery experience.
True, and we
we've
can
had.
talk, and I can reflect back onto the Tennents.
Which is going to be weird because the theme of that one won't be Tennent's.
But I can talk about my opinion might honestly change. I might honestly
That's
go
not how it
Tennents.
works.
No, I'm not going to change the tier list.
Can't change the tier.
No, I won't change the
We
tier
have to
list.
give a de facto answer
No, I'll
to
give
the
a de facto
people
answer.
at
I'll
the
give a
end
de
of this
facto
one,
answer.
because otherwise all of these tinnies were for nothing.
No, they were for nothing.
And like,
We could have that camera
we've
turned
had
off and they weren't for nothing.
pint-sized tinnies and not pint-sized tinnies.
I've had. Here's my selection down here.
You'll get to hear the story of Hugh Tennent.
Hugh Tennent? Oh,
Hugh
was it
Tennant.
the Him?
That's like the kid of Mr. Tennant.
Oh,
So Hugh Tennant got smallpox, and he was dying. Do you know what the cure to smallpox was originally believed to be back in the whenever year this was?
Tennant's lager?
No, it was go to somewhere warm and dry. What's Scotland?
Wet and just wet.
Cold, wet,
Yeah,
and wet.
cold.
So he went on a tour of Europe with his friend. Sorry, his good friend. And they basically just went on a booze cruise, which is when he discovered lager. He came back to after his 3 years of touring Europe and was like, right, Tennent's was going out of business at this time, and he was like, lager saved the business, somehow saved his life as well. But my favourite part of the Hugh Tennant touring the world, because he was dying on a booze cruise and invented Tennent, invented this thing, is the fact that he's always referred to as his good friend. The good friend, when you say that about a guy and a guy back in the day, oh, they be shagging. Hugh Tennant, the guy that invented Tennent, was just allegedly a gay guy with his good mate on a fucking booze cruise. Fucking love it. It's so funny.
I didn't think about that, but you're probably right, yeah, they probably got some freaky stuff on that booze cruise. I mean, two heavily inebriated good friends back in that time.
One's dying and incredibly wealthy. Like, oh, that's...
Wow.
I love that. That was my favourite story from the Tennent's Brewery.
And here we are
Or
sipping on it.
the other one was our guy was trying to explain how Tennent's is the reason that Scotland lost wars. Because they were pissed.
I think it'd give you a higher chance of winning. Because you wouldn't know what to expect in it.
I've knocked over my final tinny.
Here we go. The final tinny.
Also, we were going to do like a dramatic bit where we like held up the packaging like this to kick off the show, but for some reason it's got £4 for £6 beautifully wrote on it. And it was like,
it
that
kind of ruins it,
that
doesn't
really
it?
takes away from the...
Makes us look cheap.
the
Oh,
imagery.
it's on both sides as well.
I mean, you say makes us look cheap, but that's probably quite cheap for beer. That means this was £1.50.
True. Mine were £2 a can.
Ah, yeah, true. They're the pint-sized tinnies though. They're a novelty. They're a novelty. So this is 500 and they are like 6. They're like
5, 6, 8.
5, 6, 8, and these are 440 then?
So good.
Oh, 500, shit.
100. Oh, these 500?
These are 500, so it's
Fuck
properly
off.
ripped off.
So I paid 50 pence more for 16 mils of Tennent's. That's not even a gulp. Fuck's sake. I mean, I paid £4 for them too. You paid £6 for 4.
But we had a whole conversation where we were like, what ones make sense to get? And you were like, get the 4-pack, and then you somehow produced...
True enough, because I was like, I know, because I was like, 8 Tennent's is a bit ridiculous. Oh,
Yeah,
I
true.
fucking work the morning.
True.
What, 8 o'clock on a Sunday night?
But 3 is an acceptable amount to give you a review in the tier.
True.
Tennent's is a weird one because it's not like we need a lot to tell you where it fits in the fucking ranking.
Mhm.
All the other ones will probably... It'll be between 2 and 3 of each, I think we have during an episode. You don't want to go...
Depends on the day we
You don't want to go
film
more
them.
than that.
No, because well, especially we're filming on a Sunday and I've got work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I can't want to be going home drunk.
Well, the next episode is probably going to be
If it's on like a Tuesday or a Monday or even a Friday,
Yeah.
then I'm fine with having a lot more than 3.
But we might not even fucking
And
like
it becomes to the point of it'd be beyond piss takes.
Yeah, which is good.
It'd be
That's what we
bloated
want.
takes.
Blue takes. Because the next episode, not to give you any spoilers, is going to be brilliant, and it's going to be a long one. It's going to be a really long one. We've got Josh White joining us for
Oh,
it.
is he sound for that? Have you
Josh
got a
White.
date for it?
Not a date, no,
No.
but we've got a Josh White joining us for it. We've got the beer, we've got the plan of the episode. But the thing with these episodes is,
good.
I imagine they will last as long as the conversation.
Well, that as well will last as long
So,
as kind of the.
These episodes are going to be anywhere between an hour to like 3 hours long.
Yeah, especially if I've got the time.
Yeah.
I can sit here and talk lager all day, talk stories about lager, the low stories we've got from them.
Stories about the other shit, the other
Yeah,
topics
the
we've got
other stuff.
planned, yeah.
Like, I can sit here and talk all day. That's why I think this podcast is a good idea.
It was a very good idea, because you came to me with the ScotRail pub tours idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's
I
do
don't know
this.
where that came from or why I thought of that, but I just remember messaging about it and I was like, man, Ryan would eat this shit up.
And what you've got going with me is I'm a make it happen person.
Mhm.
You say something to me, it might not happen immediately, but I will do it. I'll do anything. Once. And then I had the kind of idea to next step it with this, and then combining the two under the same branding, wow, we not even Gallus anymore, we fucking pissed.
We pissed Gallus. But no, I don't even know why I thought of this. I swear I thought it was a weird
Sunday.
place. And I swear I didn't message it and nowhere as well.
I was
like,
at work. It was like 4 o'clock.
You saved it in chat if I'm trying to pull out my phone to look at it.
Well,
I'll check what day it was.
That's because I would have forgotten. Because I'll do anything. I like the idea, but I'm still me. I'm still gonna forget shit.
Right, there you are.
That's me. Wow.
Oh, is it the 22nd of March? Gallus pub tours.
And genuinely about 5 months later, we did it.
But I think
Time.
I say piss takes. I think piss takes is just probably your best idea yet.
Yes!
Because it's just, it is what it says on the tin, and it's just.
This tin says Tennent.
Tennent.
Fucking tinnies, man. Fucking love a tinny. I have a love for tinnies of Tennents.
It's one of the few tinnies that I'm like open to have.
So a can of beer in the house poured into a glass, fine. But a can of beer in the house drank from the can.
It is a piss
No.
you off, honestly. Sometimes.
Exactly, it tastes not nice,
No, it tastes.
really.
But the Tennent's.
But there is some, because you see it in the movies, you see it in still game, you see it in the streets. This is how Tennent's was made to be drank from a can.
A tin of Tennent's.
Do you ever see a bottle of Tennent's? No, you fucking don't. They don't do them.
Because
But this is genuinely more iconic than a pint of Tennent's.
I'd almost go say, yeah, like, I'd agree.
Tennent's.
Like,
you see these lit up in the streets, and do you know what? You don't even acknowledge it. I expect to see them. Like sometimes I walk down the street and I'll be like,
to see them almost. Like,
that pride.
Yeah,
Sometimes I walk
that's-
down the street and I'll be like, why the fuck is there a shattered bottle of Tyskie on the street? Who the fuck has been drinking Erdinger in Kincaidstone? You see one of these, you just keep walking.
Yeah, you can take taste about it.
Fucking rightly so, you know what I mean? This is our country personified in alcohol. Which is why my argument is it is going straight into ice cold beer garden Tennents.
Is that you'd put it?
Because if I was in a beer garden, I would not choose to have Tennents. If I was in a beer garden, I would not choose to have an ice cold Tennents particularly. But if I was not in a beer garden, if I was in the shittest pub on God's green earth and it was warm,
And they're serving a Tennent's.
I'd still actually quite like it. I think it is.
You're putting in beer garden Murphy.
It is. It's not my favourite pint. It is not the best pint.
I don't think it's anyone's favourite pint.
But it is the most consistent pint I have ever drank. Because I have had 3 tinnies of this tonight.
And they'd be
And
just
I'm
good as
very
one.
much enjoying them.
It'd be as good as one. I honestly wish I bought a 4-pack and we had a few more to go.
I'm not sick fed up of the. Sometimes
No,
you
I
have a
could have
lager.
a few more.
You have a lager and you want to change after 1 or 2.
Oh yeah. Magic, for example, I think. If
You
one
can
of
have
them.
one, a nice
So
one.
if you have 2 or 3, and then
No, one
you know
nice
you're-
one.
you're done it.
Cool. But Tennent's is the one that you can drink over and over and over and over again, and you'll never get sick.
I'm actually
fed up
sad
again.
to see that the pack is ended. I almost wish we had 1 or 2 more just to drink, because the taste is as weird as it is enjoyable.
This is what beer tastes like, and every other beer is just either better or worse. But that does not mean it's average. That does not mean it goes into bottom tier. That means it goes in top tier, because this is what when you
It's
say
set
beer.
the standard for beer.
When you say beer, I hear that.
Literally, yeah, true. If I think of a lager, or if I'm going for a pint, and I'm wanting a cheap, reliable, well-priced
And in the pub,
pint.
it's cheap.
When I'm in Smith's, it's £5.99 for a Cruise Campo, £6 for a pint of Cruise,
But there
I
is
get
a
one of these.
perfectly good.
£4.60.
Still
about
arguably
£4.60
too much.
It's not even too much, but you compare that to the
What?
£6
Yeah.
pints of these. Yeah, that's what, 20% cheaper.
Genuinely,
And arguably, it's almost better.
our country would have went to civil war if it wasn't for Tennents, and that is our second pissed take. Our country would have destroyed itself.
So I see your beer garden Murphy, and I second that.
But you can't drink it because
cheers
you've
to
fucking
that.
things in it. Oh, never mind. You've
No, I put it on.
Oh,
I put
yeah.
another
Alright,
one.
cool. Oh, cool. So that means episode
I
1, we
accepted
have
that.
already established that this is going straight into the top tier.
Because it's the lager of Scotland.
Now, it was always going to go into the top tier.
I don't know whether it was,
There was-
this tasted right or not.
There was not a conversation to be had really there. It's episode 1, we were always going to establish the best in the tier list.
Oh, like what
and
we
everyone
would
else
from a beer.
will be in relation to this. This
This is what I want from a lager.
much like in the real world, not this fake digital podcasty world. This is the standard bearer. This
Yeah,
is the
this is
status
what I expect.
quo.
If you aren't matching our Tennents in quality and price, then what are you doing?
When you say
Why are you
beer,
choosing it?
we say Tennent's. Beer,
Tennents,
beer,
Tennents,
beer.
Tennents,
Thank you.
Tennents.
Beer. I know I was good for
Switching around are you there?
Guinness. No, fuck Guinness. It's Scotland. Oh, I just finished it. I've still got mine.
Well, that, my last tinny, has came to an end sadly. And I can say I thoroughly enjoyed those tinnies.
And that's what we love about
And I
Tennent's.
could go for another.
Well, tough shit, you're getting a bus.
Maybe get one before the bus.
Speaking of,
on the bus.
this has been The Bus Drive, or the podcast. No, but unfortunately you cannot. Because shops stopped selling
Stopped
alcohol.
at 10, yeah.
There's
true.
no more in the house because if there was we'd have drank them.
Bastard.
And yeah.
I will need to wait.
We're gonna have to note that then in future for future Piss Takes editions is to always have an extra
Yeah, the surplus around.
for your trip home.
Yeah.
Because that's the major con of Piss Takes, is they're always going to be filmed on these chairs
In this place.
in this place with maybe Josh White will do me a better background.
But if not, I quite like this takes one anyway.
I didn't even change the font.
No, there's no need to. I reckon it almost kind of like
That's the first
it
book of
sets
Piss Takes.
the expectation for this podcast. Don't expect big, fancy, schmancy backgrounds because you're not going to get it. It's two guys sitting with a couple of tinnies that cost them £10 altogether.
Talking actual crap.
Talking shite. And
Talking
then drinking
about
beer.
shitty fucking pants. Talking about Monopoly for way
And how it's a
too
worst
long.
board game on its time, but sometimes it's the best.
Absolutely.
So I fuck with the background. I'd almost say that it's making a staple of this episode, and I'd hate to see it go.
What I think is good about the Piss Takes background, and is going to be the reason I will agree with you and insist on keeping it, is the background is white, which means we are being lit by a white light
White
over
light.
there,
And
and we are being
white
lit by a
background there.
white light, because that's a light, that's bright, shining on us from behind, therefore cancelling out the shadows.
That's also true.
Because if not, we'd have shadows on that screen. If that was a black background, white text,
Oh.
we might have some shadows to deal with. The shadows over there, which I'm going to cut out of the frame.
So it is.
I can't wait for episode 2.
I'm looking thoroughly forward to episode 2.
And 3 and 4 and 5. I think we have struck fucking gold.
I think you've
much
came
like,
like a genius,
much like
yeah.
the colour of my
lovely
favourite
Tennents.
I mean beer in general, but Tennent's.
But no, I'm honestly so down for episode 2. I will film it tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm so
Thursday.
for it.
Right. I will message Josh.
I'll message him myself and I'll be like, kill it. This idea, genius.
Because you know what?
Get yourself ready.
There's a few problems with Piss Takes that I've been picking up through this episode. I'm going to write a list later and try and figure out solutions to them. But it is going to encourage day drinking.
Yeah, but is that a bad thing? I don't know.
I don't know, but like I'm free tomorrow between the hours of like 1 and 5 when you're at work, so you can't actually do it.
Employment.
But it's going to be like random Tuesdays where we're like, right, let's just have 4 tins of Star of Brahmin at 1, and then let's wrap at 5, and then let's just get on with our day. Like, can you imagine having 4 tins? Then going home for dinner. Then just
like,
play the Xbox for a bit.
as if you didn't just slam 4 pints of tennis.
Exactly. Like,
in at 2 o'clock.
Exactly. Like, it's
Sitting there cutting into your like sausage and egg.
so what?
Speak to your mum about your daily goings if you didn't slam 5 fucking purple mouse fucking beers.
At the same time as just talking non-stop about your da.
Your shitty pants and fucking waterstones.
That's a good story.
So I don't think that's a con, I reckon that's a positive. I'm so for it.
Absolutely not a pro of Monopoly.
I'm so for it.
It's the fact that Travel Monopoly is the exact same game but just smaller. Can you imagine you pull that out in the plane?
What about Travel Monopoly? Even smaller Monopoly.
But still the same game.
It's still the shittiest game.
One of the only, like, in recent times when we've been playing Monopoly, to bring it back to Monopoly, we've been having to add in fucking house rules just to make it better. We've been like, what if we just made it so that if you roll a 7 you win? Like, what if you could just win? If you roll 3 7s in a row, the game just
to end the suffering.
Ends. And normally these rules come in 2 hours into the game and no one's winning, and even worse, no one's losing. You know you've got 6 hours left.
If you can do a backflip, you win.
It's like,
forget the dice. Just do a backflip and get us over with.
First person to leave that house, just they get a point. Or
First
something.
person to roll the dice, no matter the outcome, wins. Everyone fighting over the dice.
What if we just stopped?
And then we all win because we can leave this shitty ass board game behind and move on with our days.
That's essentially the Monopoly problem. Is you do
The
get
Monopoly
to a point,
paradox.
You do get to a point where
Everyone's a
you're like,
winner because the game stops.
No. Everyone's a loser.
Because you've started it in the first place.
Exactly. The second the first dice is rolled and someone
You're all
rolls,
losers.
someone rolls a double 6 and they get to go again, and you're just kind of like, last 2 shots to Josh, he's now in the lead. Then he rolls another double. Then he rolls another double. That's Josh in fucking jail. You're like, well, what do we even do now? Josh White's in jail.
Oh man.
What do you think Josh would do if he was in jail?
Oh,
What do you think he'd take to prison?
Hey, Freaky White. I don't know how you earned that moniker.
Don't drop the soap. I'll drop it for you.
He'll drop it for the fun of it.
How do you think you'd handle prison?
When I handled prison, I'd probably keep my head down. I'd be quiet as a church mouse. That's what I'd do. You wouldn't even know I was in there. Honestly.
That's the safest way to prison.
Oh,
right?
100%
It's
fuck
like
that.
it's just. Although this conversation was brought up in a pub recently when we were drinking some Tennents and Alex was drinking some Disarran. It was in Dublin, so we were drinking.
He won't be very
I
good at piss takes, will
apologise.
he?
It was not Tennents. It was Guinness because we were in Dublin. But that is essentially Tennents and.
No, that's the Dublin tennis pretty much.
So it cancels out each other. And we had a brief conversation about
How you'd handle prison.
how you'd handle prison. I don't like, if I was in prison in air.
Well, we don't have a prison here, do we?
They have cells.
Well, if you did an overnighter,
Like-
then you
I
probably
was
just sleep
I was
half.
in prison in Glasgow even.
Or like Berlin,
Not Berlin, that's fucked.
Bohus.
But like, see just general Scottish prisons.
Aye, Kelly.
They're not gonna be that bad. Like,
Oh, that's a
Berlin
that.
and like, you're kinda.
What? I used to work with the guy who spent, I think it was a year he spent in a Bohouse in Kilmarnock, and he said it was fucking. He said he never looked back on it bad. I mean, he was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
we had the pool tables during the day,
Yeah,
and we
like-
had all this during the night." He never like made it too terrible.
Like, aye.
Don't get me wrong, I'd rather go home and have my freedom, but
Aye, I mean,
at the
I'm
same
not-
time, he never made it out as if it was like, he never spoke about it like it was prison.
The
He spoke about it as if it was country club.
The conversation is not prison or life. It's you're in prison.
But he spoke about it as if it was country club.
Exactly, so
and I'm like, bro, you were in there, you were meant to be
Scottish
punished.
prisons from Cyprian Berlin is like, like I don't think I'd even need to like. I don't think I'd put my head down. I think I'd, depending on what prison I'm sent to, just get on with it. Like make some pals. I wouldn't be the fucking
You probably
face of
need
the
some
show.
sound folk in it.
Aye, like I wouldn't be like,
something
let's
like
start the
minded
prison
folk.
cast.
No.
We'll all sit.
Prison Gallus.
We'll all sit down with the fucking voice notes recorder on the fucking
It's one of them
Xbox.
phones like that, like
Aye.
a fucking money phone. I'm recording
Aye.
it the other end.
I've got my fucking phone call a day and that's my fucking guest. I'm like, right, today I am interviewing Josh White who has came to visit. Hello Josh White.
It's over the shitty telephone in the
Josh
prison.
White's being like, so I recently watched the 1993 Mario Brothers movie. And
Well,
I
it's
thought
constantly
it
surveyed
was
by the prison security.
So see when John Leguizamo kicked up first, I'm like, Josh White, I don't care about John
Josh,
Leguizamo.
I've only got 2 hours on this phone
I
for the
know.
fucking month. Don't waste them.
Like just
I've left my mother at home to not speak to you about fucking this.
I'm gonna need your best piss takes right now, Josh White. You wouldn't happen to snuck me a fucking tinny of Tennents. And do you know what? Because it's Scotland.
Imagine you get a big cake and you cut it open and turn it down, it's just like that.
Because it's Scotland, the prison staff would be like...
They'd probably be wet, honestly.
They'd be like... it's just
they'd
water.
actually join in.
It's just water, innit? It's like... Because in Scotland this is water.
That was the good stuff.
Water is alcohol over here. You have too much water. Fucking spin it. Oop. Right, the more I have, the less confident I feel in doing this, but what I think, I don't know what it looks like according to the camera, but I imagine that light is shining on this, creating a really nice Josh White photography image.
I reckon so as well. I'd say so. 10:13.
10:13, and as we know, the bus is at 10:30, so that means we've got about 7 minutes left of this meandering conversation. And once this meandering conversation ends,
I'll be headed home.
You'll be headed home.
But it's actually worked out quite well, because the fact that you stay 30 minutes away from me, but the bus stop is right outside my house.
It's convenient.
And the bus stop is also right outside your house.
It's very
convenient. So for a 30-minute journey, I just sit on my phone and it's really not that bad. So it's actually kind of worked out quite well in that sense.
It's handy because it's...
Even though you're on the other side of air.
It's going to happen a lot, this.
Aye, I'm for it. I'll do it literally Tuesday, I'll generally come here. Wednesday I'll come here. Thursday I can come here.
Again, next week I'm very busy. The week after.
After I'm telling you, just message me about mistakes, I'm so for it. Because this has been a good pilot, I enjoyed this.
The next one we've got Josh White.
And this one we also have a topic list to go through.
The next one's topic.
There's a bit of a structure to it.
The next one's topic is going to be genuinely insane and so much fun. So recently myself and Josh White recorded a podcast. It was 4 hours 13 minutes long.
Holy shit.
It's about the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie, hence I brought it up. We've been planning that for 3 months. I'd done 4 hours 13 minutes worth of research into the movie. I know that movie like the fucking back of my hand. One day that'll be useful information. Maybe. Pub quiz.
Pub quiz,
I'm using that to justify a lot of things nowadays.
Well, those cover a large an umbrella.
If they ever bring up John Lego's exam, I'll be like, pub quiz. Oh, I shoot my leg there and the penny almost fell.
I was going to say, I feel like I'm sat here drinking nothing now. I should have bought 1 or 2 more of those pint tinnies.
I mean, to be fair, I've got a quarter left. It's not like you're missing it too much.
No, I'm missing out.
I mean, it is Tennent. It is, as we've established, ice cold beer curtain crack.
I'd say so, 100%. I think it was already kind of established. I feel like it's either going to go in there or it'd go in the mid tier.
But it is the mid tier because it is the mid tier beer.
Because it's not like it's an amazing we are taken aback by attendance. But I feel like the fact it's so consistent.
But it is
and
the
its
number
cheapness
one.
and its quality, that it pushes it up the rankings and it earns that spot in the top tiers.
Which means in episode 1 we might have already identified another massive flaw in the system. And that is that in the real world, a beer that I would consider as middle of the road if they've got it, is actually in the top tier because it is middle of the road if they've got it.
True, but then you also have mistakes of myself and or Josh to rebuke that, you know. And
the joy of this is, we've said it, it's staying in the top tier because we're not going to change the position of the beer established. So
whatever it comes to on that night, whatever we can come to agree to,
that's
if we
where it stays.
We look at it next week and maybe you're like, man, I was too lenient on that and I should have said this was better.
It doesn't fucking matter.
And if I say, I was too harsh on it,
yeah, exactly. So right now,
I can agree.
You say top tier?
Top tier.
Which therefore means
top tier.
It's at the top tier.
Not quite Gallus.
It's going to be very interesting when we have a disagreement.
True, it will be. It'll be one way to hash out when it happens, and I don't think it's going to happen too soon, not second episode.
I'm assuming that's going to be when we actually have an interesting
maybe
conversation.
Maybe by about the third or fourth beer, when one of us brings some out there shit.
The joy is though, because we're going to be drinking 2 or 3 or 4 of them, won't matter, because we'll be fucking pissed.
True, we'll be pissed. It'll be a piss take.
It doesn't matter.
And we'll probably be more generous than we should be.
And I'm way more assertive than you.
True, that's true.
So I'll just tell you where it goes and you'll yield.
Well, I don't know about that, let's see that. We'll see when we figure out when it happens. Maybe you'll find a beer that's that bad that'll genuinely stand my ground.
I think the only way that would happen,
Ryan, this yellow mouse beer is not going anywhere near Gallus.
Is if you genuinely refuse to drink it.
If it was that bad, like threw up over the bed and I was like, okay, what? This is beyond. Like I'm refusing this goes in Gallus.
My dear God, bed sheets. They're going to become a staple.
There will be
of this.
There's going to be one day we pull out some heinous shit and that bed is never.
So just so you know,
again.
that's what they look like. They're nice and grey. There's also yellow ones that are to come because my room is yellow for some reason. I mean, I love yellow. It's my favourite colour.
It's a pretty bog standard colour. Can't really beat a yellow. It's not too
It's
dark.
my favourite
not
colour.
too deep.
Always has been.
Is it?
Yeah, from the so
I
when I
wouldn't
was
go that far to
between
say
the,
yellow's a favourite
between
colour.
the ages of 1 to 3, my bedroom walls were yellow. When I turned 18, my parents were like, "What do you want your bedroom to look like? You're 18 now. We'll do it up. It'll be part of your birthday." And I was like, when I was 1 to 3, my bedroom walls were yellow. It is my favourite colour.
I'll keep it.
Do it. Bring them back. So we brought back the yellow. My bedroom walls have been blue, grey, red. They've been all the colours.
But yellow's the one you like most. It's a nice colour to be fair.
You wake up and you're happy. Because yellow is like the
It's a
ultimate.
very bright colour.
It's the
Like the
sunshine
sun.
colour. It's the happy colour in a way. So
Still not a bad idea. Mine are blue. Mine are very quite zero that way.
you
Sometimes you wake up
you
and
can't go wrong with a blue though.
True.
Blue is nice looking, but its emotive connotations are not as positive.
Not that
as
if you're
yellow.
feeling blue, you're not feeling happy.
Exactly.
You know? See, that's not wrong with you. I never thought about that.
See, I'm all about psychology. I don't give a fuck about psychology, but I wake up and I see yellow and I'm happy. And also I see kind of shitty tartan wallpaper and I'm happy.
Anyway.
Because we didn't change the wallpaper when my bedroom got done up for me becoming an 18-year-old man. Sorry. Because the wallpaper was that and it was grey walls. All we did was change the walls to be yellow and it completely changed everything because the wallpaper complements it, especially because we found those curtains that are the merger.
Oh shit, what they do, yeah, I just realised.
And with that being said, you've just had a house tour, a room tour of Ryan Robertson on Piss episode 1. It has been a fucking pleasure. The bus driver,
The
I believe we're calling this.
The bus driver episode.
Because pilot's a boring fucking name and this is way too schemy for that.
Yeah, pilot.
Like, pilots don't kick up fuss when people are drinking.
So they don't go on strike, do they? You don't see the pilots on strike.
True, we recently had a
You see the bus
strike,
drivers,
it
they're
was
going
horrible.
on strike.
I mean, I'm sat in the bus today on the way back from work at like 6:30, and there's a couple of Neds up the back drinking tinnies off.
Tennents. So,
Like, the bus driver, that's what this has been. And it has been a fucking joy.
I've enjoyed it. It's been good fun.
On to the future of the piss takes.
100%.
I will edit this one day.
Yeah, eventually. Even unedited, it's probably not that bad. Just need to get rid of the piss take. The piss break. Oh.
That's it, it's a piss break. That's the fucking title card. It's that, but it doesn't say piss takes, it says piss break.
Breaks, yeah.
And on that note, that terrible disappointment for us, not you, you're fucking glad this is over, but we are not because it's been very nice. Enjoy
I'll
the
cheers
rest.
you for the end
Yeah,
with
you're
my
right.
empty tinnies that
And
are
I'll
already
finish
finished.
mine. And on that note, it's been an absolute joy, Aaron.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Ryan. I've enjoyed myself. I'm glad I came down. And I can only wait for episode 2 because it'll be fucking good. Especially with Josh.
Most podcasts ends with like a kind of final, either a
Penultimate decision.
follow us on Instagram and on Linktree and on Spotify and on YouTube, like and subscribe. But we shouldn't do that because that's rubbish.
No, and you would do it when you're pissed.
We need a kind of, we kind of need a calling.
Whip, a little saying.
I've got it.
Let's see that. Let's say it.
Another round.
To another round.
We don't do episodes. We do
do
rounds. Fucking nailed it, Aaron. Fucking nailed it.
That was fucking good. That's what WWE behaviour.
Fucking nailed it.